If you're planning to move to Summerlin, this video might actually change your mind. I've been a resident here in Summerlin for just about 20 years, and these are things that you're going to want to know about now versus regretting them later. So let's get into it right now. Hi, if you're new here, thank you so much for being here. My name is Jennifer Graff, and I am a longtime Las Vegas realtor and have spent about 20 years here in Summerlin. Now, especially if you're 50 plus and you're thinking about making a move to Summerlin, these are things that you're going to think to yourself, gosh, if I had known that before, maybe you wouldn't have moved here. And so these are really important things to know so you can make a great decision if Summerlin is right for you. Number one is wildlife. Now, if you come from a different part of the country, obviously everywhere you live is going to have the pros and cons. Back east, you have a lot of mosquitoes, not a fan of mosquitoes. But here in Las Vegas, what we have is scorpions. And yes, they are just as creepy as they sound. I've had one in my sink one time. Remember with the boat, my son is here, so my son actually had to get rid of it because I was like not going to touch it. We have coyotes, which of course can be dangerous. We have, well, actually, these aren't necessarily bad, but we also have snakes and other things that aren't necessarily pleasant. And it's definitely not for everybody, especially if you have small pets. You have to be really, really careful with them because the coyotes can essentially get to your pets. So these are things that people don't necessarily realize when they move here, but wildlife was a big one. And if that's something that's going to be concerning for you, especially those scorpions, then Summerlin might not be for you. Okay, number two, and of course we are here in Summerlin today. It is the end of February, and it's absolutely beautiful. So it's hard to consider this, but it gets super windy here. And here in Summerlin, believe it or not, it's windier here than other parts of our valley. So imagine pool furniture gets into your pool, and just the weather here in the spring, especially here in Summerlin, if you're considering our valley, Summerlin itself can be really windy. Oh, and here's my food coming. Yay! We have a salad and quesadillas. This is the special lunch at Husson's. Thank you. Okay, so if you're not deterred by wind or wildlife, well, you might be deterred by price. Here in Summerlin is really one of the most expensive parts of our valley. And it's not really just the housing. It really is the HOA fees. There is the SID fees if you're buying new construction or something that has recently been built, because obviously that's going to be passed on to you. So there's just a lot of fees to live here. And of course, the homes themselves are more expensive. In some cases, the same home here in Summerlin can cost you $100,000 to $200,000 more than other parts of our valley. So if you are thinking about retirement here in the Summerlin area and you're really conscious about how far your dollar can go, Summerlin might not be for you because there's other parts of our valley here in Las Vegas that would be cheaper than Summerlin. Okay, so we can all agree that Summerlin is definitely more expensive than other parts of our valley and can truly be a deterrent for people that are considering moving here. The next one was also a big one, and that is the HOAs themselves. So not only are they expensive, you also have to think about all those rules and regulations and if they are truly for you. I just had a phone call for one of my listings in Summerlin, and they were asking specifically about parking. Now, depending on where you are, as far as what community you're in, they can be super strict with parking if you have guests, if you have a camper or a trailer or other things you want to park. So also those HOAs, they're going to be really restrictive in terms of renting your property out. So if it's something that you're like, oh, I'm going to buy in Summerlin and Airbnb it, well, not so fast. So if it is something that you're thinking you want to do a short-term rental, there are so many reasons why Summerlin is not going to be for you. And that is also a big one. The HOAs here are real, and they will not be happy with that short-term rental. Next one, this is not the Strip. So here in Summerlin, it's kind of the burbs. And though it might stay open later than some other parts of the country, Summerlin kind of closes early. So normally you're going to see people out to dinner, maybe 6, maybe 7, but I have been in restaurants on the later side by 9 o'clock. Kind of shuts down here. So if you're looking for the nightlife, there are a few places that might work well for you, but overall, you'll probably want to be closer to the Strip because Summerlin really does kind of close early. So if that's something that's important to you, if you want to be staying out late, then Summerlin is not going to be for you. This is a big one for me, especially I've been here 20 years, so it's gotten a little bit better. but it's pretty homogeneous out here. I mean, let's be real. This is a very, very suburban feel. A lot of people come out here from the Strip, and you could kind of honestly be anywhere. A lot of people kind of consider this more like a Scottsdale in Arizona, or even maybe like a Valencia, California. It's definitely a little bit of a master planned suburban sprawl, for a lack of a better word. So if you're looking for some character, if you're looking for something that feels a little retro or vintage or really any of those things, then honestly, Summerlin is not going to be for you. Take a little bit of a break about why Summerlin might not be for you, because it is a beautiful day, and we are at Hussong's, I hope that I'm pronouncing right, Cantina here in Boca Park. It is an absolutely beautiful day out here. Really a nice treat to be able to sit outside. And they have a really great little lunch menu here. So this is the first time Peter and I have visited this place, but I think we might be back. Okay, here's another big one, and it is the traffic. There's really only just a few roads in and out of Summerlin, and I know we've been out here recently. They're trying to improve that. They're widening Summerlin Parkway, and I'll get into that next. But as of right now, West Charleston, West Sahara, Summerlin Parkway, 215, certain times of day, especially when school gets out, sometimes, in the morning, late afternoon, the traffic can get really heavy here, especially when you're trying to commute up and down West Charleston at certain times of day. It can be a beast, honestly. So if you're concerned about traffic, if you're concerned about getting around, especially at certain times of day, and that traffic is a concern, well, then honestly, there's probably other parts of our valley that might work better for you. Another one, and I kind of touched on it just earlier, and that is the construction. They are expanding Summerlin Parkway. They are expanding the 215 going west, and that is because there's so much new construction still happening here in the Summerlin area. If that's something, especially if you're looking in some of these new construction neighborhoods and you're going in on a community that's just being built, you literally may have construction for the next 2 to 3 to 4 years in your neighborhood. So there's obviously some older parts of Summerlin, and of course that's a different type of trade-off, but if you don't like living in the construction area, if you're concerned about the dust, if you're concerned about getting a nail in your tire, because that is very real, then honestly, Summerlin might not be for you. Okay, now getting back to that homogeneous feel, I'll be honest with you, it is pretty real. I'll give you a short little story. Is I actually had friends from out of town, from the East Coast, from the Philadelphia area, come in and visit, and I was completely raving about how awesome downtown Summerlin is. And to be real, I mean, I've lived out here for quite a long time. I love downtown Summerlin. It's super fun. They've got parades. There's always something going on. But remember, downtown Summerlin, if you're coming in from out of town, I had friends come and look at it, and they're like, this is actually not a downtown. This is literally an outdoor mall. So yes, so that is very true. We don't have that classic kind of downtown here. Essentially, downtown Summerlin is an outdoor mall. When you have an Apple store and your anchor is a Macy's and a Dillard's, then yeah, you don't have a downtown. You actually just have a glorified outdoor mall. So again, I know I mentioned it earlier, but it is really very real. It is very suburban out here. And if that's not something that appeals to you, then honestly, Summerlin might not be for you. So we covered a lot in this video, and it's really about those trade-offs, right? Higher HOA fees, more HOA restrictions, the super suburban feel, the little bit of that homogeneous feel as well. These are all things that it's great to know about Summerlin before you ever actually consider moving here. And so you can decide, especially if you're 50 and over, if this is a great fit for you. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video today. I truly appreciate you guys. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.